Hey there everyone, this is Travalgar Valentine coming with another new video for my series Mad Max Cars. I'll be just drawing these simple doodles in my sketchbook, nothing professional, just little doodles on how to actually draw them. Today I'll be working on Bigfoot, which is an interesting monster truck on the Fury Road. It's very interesting from it's converted from an old Dodge Fargo from the 40s. And it's got interesting 5.5 feet high tyres. Now to start off this monster truck I want to start off with the basic shape, so I have to get these big chunky tyres. I've drawn a simple 3x3 inch square in my sketchbook just for the basic. Keep all vehicles basically I'm doing the same size, not too big, not too small, just enough to get the details in and things. Once I've got the basic designs in for the wheels, then I can build the bodywork on top. Because this is an old hot rod kind of style from the 40s, they have these skinny front ends and then a larger cab at the back, and then these mud guards that hang over the wheels basically. Going on with the basics, like I said, basic blocks here and there. Add the turrets on top and then the mud guards on the side. Add the lights on top of the mud guards. Once I've got the wheels and then the bodywork in place, and then I know where to add the drive shaft. So everything's just coming in together basically with these simple pencil sketches. I could start little doodles to start off with, like from the very centre with pen and ink, but it's better to get an overall perspective of what you're actually drawing and where everything's going when you have these pencil sketches beforehand. This is a very interesting car with the two turrets on top. For its basically height as well. I think it's one of the most victorious ones in the Fury Road, just because basically it'll be able to crush a majority of vehicles and stuff like that. Not to mention it'll overpower a lot of vehicles as well. Now when I start inking as well, I start off with the tyres, and I start doing just little dots around where I want the tread to basically go, and from the outside to the middle it goes downwards, and likewise to the other side. The other side overlaps on top of it to give this sort of paddle design to help push it through the sand. Big old squashy tyres. It's what makes it actually help it climb over the rocks during that scene where those rock bikers basically drop that big pile of rocks on top of them. And then going in with the lights on top of the mudguard, adding little details here and there. Although I think the front is kind of plain compared to the other vehicles I've seen in the Fury Road series. I think it would be a lot better maybe if I added a plough or maybe some spikes on the front or something, maybe a bit more medicine. There's not even any lancers or anything on this. I presume that's just the basic purpose of the vehicle. The vehicle is for overall turret design. Not to mention I think it'll be pretty weak against some of the vehicles like the Buzzards for example. Although it's got big hefty chunky tyres, one thing I was always noticing that major weakness is the fact that it's got air fuel tyres, so for something big and spiky just plunge straight into it, I think it'll basically just destroy it. So I think if there was a Buzzard and it just ran straight into there, the whole monster truck would just prolapse basically. Okay, going in with the basic details as well, going with the drive shafts and the suspension, brake discs, just make the actual vehicle more realistic as well. Going with the suspension on top of the drive shaft as well, because once you've actually got the bodywork on top of the wheels, you want to make sure that it can move and things. This is just a fun little sketch, you don't have to add these things, but I think that once you have all these little details that make the car more realistic and stuff, you can kind of feel more for it basically. You know the fact that it's going to be able to move and stuff like that, it's going to be able to move over the rough terrain and stuff. Another tip is is when you keep these wheels on either side of it, try and keep the actual bottom line of the wheels the same basically, kind of in parallel to the square, if you know what I mean, just to keep the angle straight and things. Okay, moving up a little bit, I'll start with maybe the guns on top, or maybe I'll start with the bodywork on the bottom. Going with a little half mud guard. It's got sort of like a truck back where the people can stand on it. Going with the basic side details in the cab as well. The cab's very small, I think it only holds one person at a time, and it holds maybe about 3 or 4 that climb around it and things as well. Adding the little inside panels here and there, a few more little scrapes and stuff like that. These cars aren't perfect, some of them are being polished because of the authority figures, of course. They demand the vehicles to be top notch. These are some of the biggest guns that probably they have for the most biggest vehicle obviously. And then we're moving into the harpoon gun, where you've got basically the rope hanging down for the extra tension and stuff. And then you've got the slightly guard, the guard plate that goes around the firing mechanism as well. and then you've got a flamethrower on the other side. From the picture I drew, it's kind of in the standing position instead of the actual horizontal position that I originally sketched in. So that was just another alteration. And then, of course, once I started getting up and going with my nice drawing, the camera started to break. So you haven't seen me draw the rear wheel or the rear underneath it, but you kind of get the general idea of what the wheel will look like from the front wheel that I did, because it's very similar tread. Then afterwards I just go with a nice chunky black outline and a chunky grey outline, just to make it stand out from my sketchbook a little bit more. I think next week I'll work on the Fire Beetle. I think that'll be another interesting vehicle to draw. So thanks very much for watching, and if you liked it, please like it, and if you want to subscribe for more, thanks very much.